Hi, and welcome to Time to Learn. Today, we're going to be exploring a topic that affects every single coach in the UK. It's all about improving the experiences of those that participate in sport or physical activity, and also helping us as coaches to be the very best that we can be. We're going to be exploring the topic around duty to care and exploring your duty to care as a coach. My name is Kelly Rodrigues at UK Coaching, and I'm joined by Heather Douglas, also at UK Coaching, taking us through this topic. So, we're going to explore during today is a whistle-stop tour of the Duty to Care Hub, the new and improved hub that UK Coaching have worked with sector experts to bring to you. We're going to take you on a sneak peek of what's to come in the hub. We're going to explore some key themes of duty to care through some scenarios, and then we're going to explore next steps and how you can get involved. Without further ado, Heather, are you there?
Thanks, Kelly. That's great. Yes, welcome everybody, and I do hope you get a lot of information from this webinar today. As Kelly has mentioned, this is a new and improved version of our Duty to Care Hub and digital badge. Throughout the session, we will be trying to highlight the improvements that have been made, but just to take you through why we have done this in a bit more detail, we had an overwhelming response to our first iteration of this tool and badge, but we wanted to make sure that we could provide the coaches out there across the land with a deeper dive understanding of the key pillars within duty to care. So as you will see, we've got diversity. It's about all of us and all of our differences and all of our similarities, just to make sure that we can appreciate and understand that. We have our inclusion pillar, which is about including everybody in our sessions. Mental health and well-being, as again, everybody has mental health, and we need to make sure that we can look after ourselves and others, and to be able to recognise what you can do and where you can signpost if you have a concern. Physical well-being. This is an area that we've really expanded on in terms of health, performance, in terms of negative lifestyles, but also physical physiology and the benefits that you can do within your training sessions and help people rest outside of their training sessions. Safeguarding is about protecting the right to live safely by ensuring that the well-being of children and adults is at the heart of coaching. And as you may have heard before, we believe that safeguarding is a key pillar within duty to care, but it is not the only pillar. Some of you may notice that we have a new pillar called Safe to Practice. This has been added in based on feedback from thousands of coaches who came to us for further advice, particularly during lockdown, about their concerns about returning safely to sport and physical activity. So this will give you all the key information of how to make your environment physically and psychologically safe. If we put all of these things together, this will enable you to gain a digital badge. What you would need to do in terms of achieving this digital badge, we've provided very comprehensive learning guides to each of these subject matters. And alongside that, we also have provided a knowledge check for each one of those pillars also. What you would need to do is pass all 6 duty to care knowledge checks to earn the digital badge. And it's not there to trip you up, it's to shine a light on good practice and to see where you are. We've created all of this content in terms of partnership with industry leading experts. This has been endorsed by CIMSPA, who is the Chartered Institute for Sport and Physical Activity, and they're right behind this. Some of you may be aware of CIMSPA and some of their CPD points. Achieving this badge will earn learners 3 CIMSPA CPD points. And this enables you to demonstrate knowledge demonstrate competence against knowledge in these areas. If you want any further information and more of the detail around that, please do visit our website /duty to care. I'm going to hand you back to Kelly now to give you the really exciting information about what you will experience when you delve into the Duty to Care Hub.
Thank you, Heather. So, as Heather has touched upon, we are providing a raft of learning and information to help support you as coaches in your environments to learn and also apply practical tips and information and learning within your coaching environment. So, what you're looking at here is an assortment of learning that we're providing, which is absolutely free of charge to you and to all coaches. So, get everybody involved. So anybody that contributes towards the coaching environment, whether it be your wider coaching team, in fact, it could include parents, it could include stewards, it could include facility staff, please do get them all involved because these experiences that we're about to walk through at this level are absolutely free. So during the free layer here, we've invested in the latest learning technologies to bring to you experiences that are memorable. So one of them is a virtual Q&A experience where there's going to be a couple of familiar faces where you're going to be able to ask them some questions about their experiences. One of the experiences hones in on an individual's experience around discrimination and at high performance and their experiences about how they needed to suppress their identity as a gay female. We may have some clues there. And then the second one hones in there on mental health and well-being, and that allows you to ask the second person what their experiences were when they experienced challenges with their mental health and well-being, but more importantly, how they turn that around with the support of their coach and indeed the coaching environment being a supportive one. We've worked with Leeds Trinity University and the media, sports and journalist students there to create a feature film that's about 20 minutes that explores the complexities and the interdependencies of those duty to care themes that Heather walked you through. We know that when coaches are out there trying to do the very best that they can do, that these things are not as clear cut as perhaps they're made out to be. And this is what the film excellently encapsulates and supports us to explore. Accompanying that, there are some short replays where you can look at some of the issues in a deeper dive and a deeper lens. But more importantly, we've provided some interactive conversation guides that allows you as an individual to reflect, or you can do that as a group with peers, or indeed you can perhaps share that resource with your coaching organisation and ask them to facilitate something maybe on a much larger scale to help others get involved in the conversation. Heather touched upon this, so we've got some extremely comprehensive guides that have been created with leading experts across the sector. And those learning resources include things like practical tips, as I've already explained, to support you to achieve the badge, but more importantly, to support you to continue to be as awesome as you are out there in the coaching environment. So if that wasn't enough, and you want to learn more, then as a coaching member, so as UK coaching membership, we take you a level down into some much more deeper learning. And if you're not already a member, then perhaps this is enough to whet your appetite and you can find out more information about how to join the UK coaching membership after this session at UK Coaching if you so wish. So if you are a member, you get all of this for free. We are creating bite-sized e-learning modules that sit within each pillar of duty to care, and those will award you CIMSPA points. We have guided reflections, again, using the latest technology, whereby we're taking the hard work of autonomous learning, where you have to go and learn about it all yourself, and popping that into some technology to help guide you on those explorations. We're giving you tons more of deeper level learning and information from our industry experts and lots more practical tools to take away and enhance your coaching further. So if you do want to find out more about how you become a member at UK Coaching to access those resources, visit ukcoaching.org.
Thanks, Kelly. That's really, really great. I'm so excited to get my hands on all of that information. Just a reminder of where this piece of work has come from. And some of you may be aware that in 2017, Baroness Tanny Gray-Thompson reported into government about the duty of care in sport report, which was a catalyst for change in terms of athlete welfare across the pathway, so from playground to podium. And the opening quote within that is that the most important element in sport is the people involved, whether they are taking part, volunteering, coaching, or paid. Sport relies on putting people, their safety, well-being, welfare at the centre of what sport does. So this report was really, really detailed in terms of looking at how the sector, the sport and physical activity sector, could respond to some of the recommendations found within this report. UK Coaching really grasped this with both hands to make sure that we could ensure that coaches, the excellent coaches across the land, were actually being able to implement some of what the report was telling us. We made a conscious decision to not call it duty of care, but to call it duty to care, so that coaches out there could take a personal responsibility for change rather than not get lost in a legal definition. So just for the next few minutes, we've got 3 scenarios for you where we would like you to pause and reflect on some of the questions that we ask you, and just to take away and just think about how that made you feel. So the first one is an inclusion example. So this scenario suggests, Jess has joined the community dance group. This is her 3rd session. She is very enthusiastic, however, cannot seem to grasp the left and right commands in front of the mirror. Jess is trying really hard, however, she keeps on banging into other dancers in the group. 10 minutes into the session, the dance coach pulls Jess to one side and asks her just to watch for the rest of the session. Please take a moment just to think, do you find this acceptable? Is it a lower level of concern, or is it unacceptable? While you're thinking about that also, you might want to categorize your thoughts into behaviors, impact, and actions. So under behaviors, what behaviors, words, actions have you noticed? Who is demonstrating the behaviors? Is there more than one person who could be contributing to this scenario? In terms of impact, who do you think is mostly impacted? How do you think this person is feeling and thinking? What could the impact be for this person, these people? And what consequences may there be? In terms of taking action, imagine you were a bystander in this scenario. How would you assist? Thinking about your environment, what might you be aware of in the future? And finally, how might you respond and who could support you in a similar scenario? Thank you and welcome back. So the second scenario is about mental health and well-being. So this scenario suggests Aaron is the assistant coach to Ted. Ted has been really pleased with the support Aaron has given him and the players over the period of his first season. Ted always comments on how Aaron has a great rapport with the players every week. Recently, Aaron has seemed disengaged and not his enthusiastic self. Ted sets up the session for the day and, as usual, keep a watching eye on the other sessions around him. Suddenly he notices Aaron raising his voice repeatedly to the players. This is very unusual. Eventually, Aaron loses it and walks away from the session with no explanation. Again, please think about whether this is acceptable, a lower level of concern, or unacceptable. And again, think about the behaviors, the impact, and the actions. And finally, our third scenario, which is about physical well-being. This scenario suggests Sarah and Shruti have been coaching together for some time now and often co-design the sessions together and with the input of the participants. It works well and there is a great buzz around the club. One day Shruti sees Sarah trying something with the participants that they have not discussed. This seems fine as Shruti wants to see Sarah bring her own style to the club. Shruti then notices that one of the participants is not happy with what they are being asked to do. There is an exchange of words and Sarah insists that they try this particular play. Shruti watches this happening and notices that what Sarah has asked the participant to do could put them and the other participants in danger. Shruti approaches Sarah and asks her what she is doing. Sarah replies, "I've seen this on YouTube. All the elite players are doing this." Again, please think about whether you feel this is acceptable, a lower level of concern, or unacceptable. And finally, remember to think about and reflect on the behaviours, the impact, and the actions.
Fantastic. Thank you, Heather, for walking us through that. I think it's probably an important moment to encourage you who are watching and listening back to this. Feel free to rewind, and revisit those scenarios. That's the beauty of this thing being recorded, is that this is a resource for you to keep and share. So, if you felt like, oh, I just needed a bit more time on those scenarios, or in fact, you want to go back and revisit them to unpick them a little bit more, we would certainly encourage you to do that. And Heather, I guess at this point, it's not, I guess it's probably a reassuring thought to think it's not always simple. So if we've got learners perhaps listening in, watching this back, that are thinking, well, I'm not quite sure where I am on this spectrum, I guess it's probably a reassuring thought to think it's not always as easy as saying it's this or it's that in terms of the level of acceptability, is it?
Absolutely not. And what we would do is, if there's, we want to shine a light on good practice. And if you have any kind of deliberations or reflections on this, take these scenarios into your own environments, discuss them with the coaches who are around you. Also visit the UK Coaching Duty to Care Hub for more information about how to deal with these situations. All we're trying to do is support you on the way in terms of being the brilliant coaches that you are.
Absolutely. And to that end, I guess it's a great time to direct you to ukcoaching.org/duty to care to go and get involved if you haven't already done so. As I explained during earlier in the session, there are some absolutely free of charge resources. If you're not yet a member and you want to dip your toe in the water before you commit to becoming a member. And then for those that really are either a member already or really want to get involved and want to really expand your knowledge and get involved in everything that's going on with duty to care, then you will be able to find information there about how you become a member. Without further ado, thank you, Heather, for your time during today's session, and thank you indeed to the audience for listening in. We wish you well. Take care.